Welcome to Socket to Me, a variety video showing how to wire color cord companies' different types of sockets. In this tutorial, we'll go over how to wire each style of socket that we carry using our DIY parts, customizable power whips with thumb switches, and of course, the light sockets. Tools you'll need to wire our sockets are just a Phillips head screwdriver and needle nose pliers. And depending on which DIY cord grips you prefer, you'll need a small flathead screwdriver, so be sure to have that available to you as well. Okay, let's start out with the most popular of color cord sockets, our Ivory Extended Thread Shade Ready socket. This socket is an ideal solution if you want to attach shades to your light fixtures. It features extended threads and a socket ring, and you can also add a half cap socket cover to give your light fixture a polished look. This extended thread socket and ivory tutorial also applies to our basic and standard shade ready ivory sockets. Okay, let's get started. The first step is to take the bottom plastic piece of your standard metal cord grip and thread the bottom of it into the top of the socket cap. You can then tighten down the smaller set screw on the inside of the cap, then loosen the larger ground set screw. Next, slide the top metal piece of your cord grip over the power whip with the bottom of the grip facing the exposed conductor wires. Do the same with the socket cover with the inside of the cover facing the exposed wires. Then slide the socket cap with cord grip bottom over the conductor wires the same way onto the power whip. Now using your needle nose pliers, grab the green ground screw and slide the end into the hole where you loosened the ground set screw. Once that feels fully inserted, tighten down the set screw to secure it in place. Now grab the socket body and locate the positive and negative terminals on the inside of the socket. Using these photos for reference, you can see that the black positive wire corresponds with the gold longer prong and the white negative with the silver prong. Once matched up, go to the top of the socket body and use your pliers to insert the black and white wires into the proper terminals. You'll know the wires are fully inserted when they feel secured by lightly tugging on them with your pliers. Next, lock the cap and body together, which will complete the socket wiring. Then slide back down the socket cover and cord grip top, tightly threading the grip top back onto the grip bottom. And you're all done. You can then use the provided socket ring to then sandwich a shade between the half cap socket cover and shade ring. Now let's move on to another popular socket, our basic socket in black. Wiring this socket is quite similar to our ivory, but our black sockets come with a terminal plate that is separate from the body. This basic socket in black tutorial also applies to our shade ready and extended thread black sockets. Please note that our black sockets are self-locking. Do not thread together with the terminal plate inside until you are ready for wiring. It will not come back apart. And starting with the terminal, go ahead and loosen the gold and silver screws where the conductor wires will be inserted. Then grab your socket cap and loosen the set screws on the inside of the cap. Next, remove the set screw from your male barrel cord grip and thread it into the top of the socket cap. Tighten back down the smaller set screw to secure in place. Now slide the socket cap over the conductor wire whips. The inside bottom of the cap should be facing the conductor wires. Now grab your needle nose pliers, insert the green ground wire into the hole where you previously loosened the ground set screw, and tighten down the set screw to secure the wire in place. Now grab your terminal plate and align the gold terminal with the black positive wire and the silver terminal with the white negative wire. Insert each wire into the corresponding terminal holes and tighten the terminal set screws to secure the wire in place. Push the terminal plate up inside the socket cap so it feels flush with the bottom. Then grab your socket body and thread it onto the socket cap. Grab that set screw you removed from the metal barrel cord grip and thread it back into the grip to secure the power whip in place. And that's how you wire our black sockets. Next, let's go to our porcelain sockets. These look great without socket covers and have a weighted quality feel to them. Compared to our plastic black and ivory socket offerings, the porcelain socket stands alone in the step-by-step wiring process. Shall we dive right in? Wonderful. First, loosen the gold positive, silver negative, and black ground screw located at the top of the socket. Do not fully remove the screws from the socket. Then grab the metal socket cap and loosen the set screw on the side. Grab the bottom of your standard plastic cord grip, thread it onto the top of the socket cap, and tighten back down the set screw. Next, slide the top piece of your cord grip over the power whip with the bottom of the grip facing the exposed conductor wires. From here, slide the socket cap and attached bottom cord grip piece onto the power whip. The bottom of the cap should face the exposed conductor wires. Apply the insulator to the inside of the socket cap by lining up the two holes located near the outside of each piece. Now, to apply the wires to the socket body, we need to create a hook-like shape out of each conductor wire using our needle nose pliers. They should look like this, which will help the overall ease of this part of the assembly. Hook each wire under the corresponding screw. White negative wire under the silver screw, green ground wire under the black screw, and black positive wire under the gold screw. And then tighten each screw down so the wire is secure underneath. Next, bring down the cap to the socket body to where the two holes on the cap and body are aligned. Grab the two provided socket screws and locate the two holes inside the bottom of the socket body. Drop the screws in the holes and thread them in until you feel the screws grab the threading of the socket cap. Once tight, the body should sit flush with the insulator and socket cap. Lastly, bring down the top piece of the plastic cord grip, thread it onto the cord grip bottom until it is tight and secure. And you're all set. That's how you wire our porcelain sockets. Alright, back to our plastic black sockets, but now we're wiring up a smaller E12 candelabra socket with a candelabra flat top socket cover. This time we're also using a 2-prong whip as our E12 sockets do not have a ground screw. You can always still use our 3-prong power whips, but you'll have to snip off the green ground wire. Please note that our black sockets are self-locking. Do not thread together with the terminal plate inside until you are ready for wiring. It will not come back apart. Alright, let's get started. Loosen the set screw on the inside of the socket cap and thread in the bottom piece of your cord grip into the top of the cap. Tighten back down the set screw. Then feed the cord grip top over the power whip so the bottom of the grip faces the conductor wires. Do the same thing with the flat top socket cover. The inside should face the conductor wires. Now slide the socket cap over the conductor wire whips. The inside bottom of the cap should be facing the conductor wires. Grab the terminal plate and loosen the terminal screws. You're then going to insert the black positive wire into the gold terminal hole and the white negative into the silver terminal hole. tighten the screws to secure in place. Next, slide the cap down a bit and bring the terminal plate up into the bottom of the cap to where it sits flush with the cap. Grab the socket body and thread it onto the cap until it feels tight. Then slide the flat top socket cover down over the socket and bottom piece of the cord grip. Lastly, thread the cord grip top back onto the cord grip bottom until it feels secure. So all in all, wiring our E12 candelabra sockets is quite similar to how you wire our standard size black and ivory sockets. Sticking with our E12 sockets, now we'll go step by step on how to wire our E12 ivory candelabra socket. This process is also extremely similar to wiring our standard ivory sockets, but we're going to use a 2-prong power cord whip again since the E12 sockets do not come equipped with a ground screw. And a friendly reminder, you can still use our 3-prong power whips, but you'll just have to snip off the green ground conductor wire. Alright, the first step here is to remove the set screw from your male metal barrel cord grip using a flathead screwdriver. Then loosen the set screw on the inside of your socket cap with your Phillips head screwdriver. Thread the cord grip into the top of the socket cap and tighten back down the set screw. Slide the cap with cord grip over the power cord whip. The bottom inside of the cap should be facing the exposed conductor wires. Next, locate the positive and negative prongs on the inside of the socket body. Using your needle nose pliers, insert the black positive and white negative conductor wires into the ports directly above the positive and negative terminals, which are located on the top of the socket body. Once fully inserted, the wires should feel secure, and you can check to see if they're fully inserted by lightly tugging on the wires with your pliers. Now slide the socket cap and cord grip down to the socket body and snap them together. To complete the wiring of our E12 ivory socket, put the set screw back in the cord grip and tighten down. And you are all set with this one. Now we're going to look at our metallic keyed sockets, a great option for those who want a vintage lamp look with an on and off switch on the socket itself. Again, we're going to use a 2-prong whip here as there is no grounding option in our metallic sockets. If you'd like, you can use a 3-prong whip and just snip away the green ground conductor wire. Okay, the first step is to loosen the set screw at the top of the socket and disassemble the socket. The terminal plate and insulator will break apart from the metal socket enclosure. There's also a socket body insulator that you can keep in the enclosure. Next, remove the bottom piece of the standard metal cord grip from the top piece and thread it into the top of the socket cap. At this time, you can also slide the top metal piece of your cord grip over the cord. Tighten back down the set screw to secure it in place and then slide that entire piece, including the top thread ring, over the power cord whip with the bottom facing the conductor wires. Apply the insulator to the power whip as well. Now grab your terminal piece and loosen the gold and silver screws. Then grab your needle nose pliers and bend each conductor wire into a hook shape. This will make securing the wires to the terminal screws easier. Wrap the hook under each screw and tighten down the screw. The black positive wire hooks under the gold screw and the white negative under the silver. Now you can pull down all the socket cap pieces to the top of the terminal and reassemble the metal enclosure using the top threaded ring. Bring back down the top cord grip piece and tighten it onto the bottom piece until secure. Please note that a small piece of the insulator will come over the lip of the bottom of the socket. This is completely normal. And that's how to wire our metallic keyed sockets. Okay, now the last socket to wire in this Socket to Me series is our twist socket. This is another situation where you can use 2-prong or 3-prong power cord whips, but just be sure to clip off the green ground wire if using a 3-prong. Alright, with your flathead screwdriver, the first step is to grab your plastic barrel cord grip and remove the set screw. Thread the cord grip into the top of the socket cap. Now slide the socket cap over the conductor wire whips. The inside bottom of the cap should be facing the conductor wires. Grab your needle nose pliers and create a hook shape with the black positive and white negative conductor wires. Then grab the terminal piece and hook the black positive wire under the gold screw and the white negative wire under the silver screw. You may have to loosen the terminal screws a bit before taking this step. Once hooked, tighten down the terminal screws. Now slide the socket cap and attached cord grip back down the cord to the terminal. Then thread the socket body onto the socket cap. Your last step is to thread back in and tighten the cord grip set screw. And there you go, that's how you wire our twist sockets. Thanks for watching Color Cord Company's Socket to Me series. And as always, reach out to us if you have any questions. We're happy to help.